So you said you have been with the Hourglass almost 10 years. Now, in that 10 years, Cartier is probably more popular now than it was before. Why do you think that's the case, and yeah, why?
I think from the time that I've been with watches as a whole, right, and the Hourglass in particular, because we get to be exposed to more brands, I think all along Cartier has the right mix of the ingredients for success. I think with the recent years, especially for the past 4 to 5 years, Cartier has been doing a lot of right releases, speaking directly to the generations of today's collectors. So they have the for example, dig deep into what they are known for, which is their designs basically, because Cartier definitely has a strength in terms of designs. So with the new releases, revisiting these icons definitely speaks to a lot of collectors of today.
In your experience, what do normal consumers, not collectors or enthusiasts, but normal consumers, say they walk into a store? What do they ask for in terms of Cartier? What's the popular model that everyone wants to buy?
So for they have pillars within the brand. So for example, majority of the time we hear people asking for the Centaurs and the Tank. And also I've observed shifts whereby in the past it used to be mostly ladies clients, or perhaps also gentlemen walking into the store looking for gifts for their partners. But right now we see quite a good mix of both genders, as much as the big size case watches trend has already slowly reversed. Right now people in the market are looking more for wearability and something that's timeless, something that's versatile, that can fit a lot of their day-to-day lifestyles. So I think some of the models that Cartier has been introducing speaks to that versatility that people are looking for.
Why do you think it has become popular now or in recent years? Because the designs have not changed. The designs have been the same for 100 years. So why in the last couple of years do you think the brand has this renewed popularity?
I think also it's a combination of factors, especially as much as what we have recently experienced globally with the pandemic. A lot of people had a lot of time to really sit back at home, whether they're working from home or whatnot. They dig deep into all the information that is available online, and with what Cartier has been doing, because you can't really rewrite history, you can't really change what has been done before. When people actually have the time to really go through people in the, figures in the watch industry that are well respected, people also take the lead from auction houses. And with all these icons slowly gaining more and more traction is because of people realizing that apart from various brands that are offerings that's out there, you can't really go away too much from timeless classics.
I think Cartier is the only brand that in every form, every shape of watch case design, they have a signature model, right?
Yep.
You have the Tortue, Tonneau, and so on and so forth in almost every case shape, which I think makes the brand quite unique in its presence in every shape category of designs. And this all started, well, like I said, this all started 100 years ago, right? The Centaur's 1904, the Tank, and so on. 100 years later, we realized that Cartier has made itself 21st century modern, right? There's the Tank Solar Beat, which is solar powered with a strap made from recycled materials. Do you find that more clients, or do you find that this idea of a solar-powered tank and with environmentally friendly materials, is it something that clients talk about, something they desire, something they come into a store and ask for?
For a brand like Cartier that is always well known for their history and its status of being a luxury brand, to dabble into innovations such as the Solar Beat is definitely an unusual mix. Definitely speaks to a new generation of clientele, especially the Gen Zs, because wearable technology on the wrist has been around, and people that are looking at wearing those has already come to a point whereby they realize after owning certain watches, it kind of phase out as you evolved in terms of your taste and preferences. But for the Solar Beat in particular, when you have a mix of a timeless classic, an icon that, like you mentioned, has been around for a century, something that doesn't go out of style, something that not really just aged well, but it doesn't even age at all. It's a design that is able to speak and transcends generations. But yourself, what is your favorite, since you asked what's my favorite from Cartier?
Well, my favorite is probably the Tank Centre. I think it's a very interesting shape. It's obviously the classic Cartier tank shape, but it's of course it's longer, it's narrow, it's curved. So it's an unusual shape, and it's also a shape that very few other brands have. I mean, you find rectangular watches, square watches, tonneau-shaped watches with other brands, and there are also other brands that do it very well. But sort of this narrow rectangle that's curved, there is no other brand that really does something like this. So it's unique, and at the same time, I think the shape also makes it unique in a mechanical way, because to fit a movement into that case, it either has to be a very small movement or very narrow and long movement. You cannot put in a normal movement. I mean, with a normal rectangular watch, you can put in a fairly conventional movement because there's enough real estate and volume, right, to fit. You can see you can fit a circle inside, but in the Centre you can't unless it's a very, very small movement. And I also like the fact that the Centre is still relatively uncommon. It's quite rare. They don't make too many of it, usually special edition or limited edition. So I think that makes it quite special. And what you're wearing also, I think, is one of my favorite shapes, the asymmetric. I think one advantage of the Centre is that it's actually a very comfortable watch to wear because it's curved, it's not so big. The asymmetric is a very nice shape, but it's not for everyone to wear because the shape is actually a very long watch, right? Even though it doesn't look long, but because it's the case form, it's actually a very long watch. So for some people, it might not fit so well. So you also notice that there are clients who become Cartier fans, Cartier collectors who sort of collect all the shapes.
Yes.
You see that as well.
Yes, and they are getting younger and younger because they share the same passion as I mean, they are influenced by their parents or people around them within the family, and I can see people of younger and younger generations getting into watches as a whole. And for Cartier, that's where the shapes of various icons that they have are able to allow people to build within the brand itself.
Okay. And are such younger clients influenced by celebrities? Like, I think, Kanye West, right, was wearing a crash.
Yes.
I think there were pictures of him wearing, Kanye West was wearing a crash. So do such things influence, I mean, for your clients, do they see such celebrities wearing the watch and then it becomes desirable for them?
I think it's a combination of a few factors out there. Definitely with celebrity endorsements, definitely people who are not really sponsored, but people who buy the watches because they are attracted to it. But also people like yourself, figures within the horological world that people look up to, people that are neutral voices of the horological industry as to what is collectible and what is not, what is interesting and what isn't. So the neutral voices and auction houses, I think, is also definitely a lot of people, regardless of whether they are new into watch collecting or people who have been seasoned collectors. A lot of them are taking cues from auctions, and I think that alone also speaks to the success of a brand, because how the brand value holds and also grows speaks to a lot of people.